Okay. Morning, Muhale. Hi, no wonder. Can you hear me? Okay, you guys are early, yo. uh, you're pretty early today.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good. Okay,
Uh,
I'm trying to share the screen. Okay, it says I've been disabled to share the screen.
yeah, I just need to make you co-host, and then you'll be able to share your screen.
All right. So in the morning when I gave the grade five C class, I don't know whether it was a pattern that was supposed to be done by my host, but most of my learners couldn't be okay. He said they couldn't be muted, so the whole time we could hear their background, and then they said they can mute and unmute themselves. So I don't know whether it was a discrepancy with Zoom or it was just a button that wasn't activated.
Yeah, it was just a button because he was supposed to mute all and then choose a button that says they cannot unmute themselves.
Okay, yeah, because I was hearing their background and everything, and yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I've made you co-host. Please try sharing your screen now.
okay. Okay, I'm able to now. Okay, all right. And then, so what will happen is there'll be times where I want them to say something. If you may kindly unmute, because when they raise their hands, I can't see if they're more than two that raises their hands. So maybe if you can, they've been unmuted, so that they can be able to answer.
So you want them to be unmuted during the class.
Not all of them, only when I ask a question, and then you can unmute whoever hands is raised, and then after they talk, you mute them again.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it will be fine. And yeah, and then their videos also, I always tell them I don't want to see them also for their security.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool if their videos are also muted or hidden. Okay, yeah, basically that's it.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I'll start then at when I go live. I'll send you a WhatsApp, and then you can start.
Okay, all right, it's fine. I'll check
Thank you.
what's up. All right. Okay. do we have? 18. Okay. Oh, just there. All right. Okay, hi guys. Hi Brandon. Hi Nwanda. Hi Asia. We haven't started. Don't be confused. Okay, and I think you are new because I haven't seen your name before. You are welcome. Feel free. This is like your normal class. And then hi Zoe. Welcome. I hope you had a nice long weekend. What else do we have? Oh, Celeste. Hi Celeste. Yes, I can see Asia. I think your name is new, but it's fine. You're not going to feel new by the end of the lesson. Don't worry. Hi, Siseko. Okay, Siseko. I think Siseko is also new. Welcome, Siseko. Thank you for joining us. You're going to enjoy the class. Hi, Keira. I know you're not new. Hi, Madumbo. I think you are new. Safia. Okay, Brandon. I know Brandon is not new. Celeste, if we can have it, the manners, please. That would be cool. You know, respect. I think your teachers also taught you that. Kaylin, okay, Kaylin, please check your settings because the others they can hear me. Lindy, where okay, Madumbo, you're not new. That's good. Maybe it's the username that I've changed. Okay. Is that your surname? Is Madumbo your surname or your name? That is fine. Hi, Lindy. Okay, see ya. All right, so you're using most probably your parents' login. Hi, Carol. I'm also glad you could join in today. Nice meeting you, Carol. Okay, it's your surname. All right, it's fine. Not a problem, Madumbo. Okay, so you guys, we're going to start in about a minute or some seconds, actually. Hi, Willow. All right, and I'm going to move away from the charts. I just wanted to see we have checked in. Yes. It's fine, Celeste. You are forgiven, my dear. Okay, it's okay. You are forgiven, eh? I'm good. It's cold today. I'm feeling good, yes. Hi, Ramu. Yes, I remember you. Yes, it is cold. I'm also feeling cold, Asia. I'm also feeling a little bit cold. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, grade fours. Okay, hi, the nice chat with some of you there. All right. First, let's just go through the house rules. Okay, for now you are not able to talk, and if you can also turn off the videos so that they're not disruptive. Distracting. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so here with you is Memaluleke, and you guys, as most of you know, I take you guys for math, and I saw that we have some pretty new kids, which is also cool. So everyone is welcome. And then let's talk about the charts. So you're going to use the charts grade fours for answering questions. So you can move away from the charts because as I'm explaining, most of you, if you are concentrating on the charts, you're going to say that you didn't hear what I said. So we can move away from the charts and only use the charts when I ask you a question. So that is how the charts are going to work. And then there's also an icon where you guys can raise your hand. So you can only raise your hand if I ask a question and then I say someone will be unmuted. So if you raised your hand and you hear your name, it means that you were unmuted. You can then talk. And then pen and pencil and paper. Very important. You should have that. This is math, so it's about doing. So I like you guys to, as we are going through, note down what you don't understand, and then you're going to have questions. You're going to have time to ask what you do not understand. All right. So those are the simple rules. You see, the rules are as simple. Just pay attention. We're only here together for only 45 minutes. So I want to get your full attention. Don't go up and go somewhere and come back again. Otherwise, you're going to lose what I am teaching. All right. So now we're back on Zoom, which is good. So you guys can actually say something when you are unmuted. All right. So today, grade 4s, remember last week we went through addition and subtraction, and we looked at those methods that we looked at. So those that are joining us today, you are well in time because we are starting on a new topic, which is common fractions. So those that have been with me since we started, we did rounding off, and we did addition, we did subtraction, we did place values. So we are done with that. If you were not with us and you want to catch up on that, you can go to our YouTube channel on African Teen Geeks and watch those videos. But today we are starting on common fractions. So grade 4s, this is the first time actually that you guys are doing fractions this year, because in term 1 you did not do fractions. So this is the first time, so I would like you to really pay attention. Okay, I can also see from the videos that some of you have books, which is also good. Even though I'm not supposed to see your videos, you can just remove the videos. You can just go where there is video, grade 4, and then you close the video and you just listen. So we are starting on common fractions. I think you did fractions when you were in grade 3, but you only did the halves and the thirds and the quarters. So we're going to look at an in-depth of the common fractions. Okay, so what is it that you're going to know by the end of the lesson? So by the end of the lesson, grade 4, you'll be successful if you are able to know what makes up a fraction. We've been doing whole numbers. So you be successful if you know what is a fraction or what makes up a fraction. And also if you are able to describe and represent fractions in written form and also in diagram form. So we can represent a fraction in a diagram, or we can represent fractions in a diagram form. Okay. So, okay, I see. All right. So, okay, as you guys are chatting on the chat, I really don't check them unless I ask you questions, and I would really love you guys to concentrate on what I'm saying. Okay, if you did fractions, that's also good, so you're going to know or be a step ahead. Okay, now moving on from the chat, so I don't see what you guys are saying on the chat. Okay, so what is a fraction? Some of you, or I see one already said they know what a fraction is. You should have actually a clear idea, because in foundation phase you guys did fractions. So if we share something equally, we divide it into fractions. So it only becomes a fraction if we divide it equally. So a fraction is a part of a whole. For the past 3 weeks, we've been doing whole numbers, and we say the whole number is a full number. So when we talk about a fraction, we are talking just about a part of that whole. And then the numbers on a fraction, we have one that is called the numerator. So this is the top number that you see on a fraction. And then we have the fraction line. Can you see the fraction line here? We either call it the fraction line or the division line. So either way, it's fine. And then the bottom number is called the denominator. So a fraction consists of a numerator and a denominator. I know some of you, the spelling, it's fine. You won't be marked for spelling in maths because we're not English. It's not in English. So, but it's good for you to know how we spell them. So the top one is called the numerator, and the bottom one is called the denominator. And then we have what we call a fraction line or a division line. So when we say a fraction 4/5, this is the same as saying 4 divided by 5. So I want you guys to really put that into your mind or into your head, because you're going to do fractions in grade 5, in grade 6, in grade 7. If you can master it now in grade 4, that the fraction line is called the division line. So when you go to the other fractions in grade 5, other types of fractions, it's going to be easier for you, because you know that this fraction line is also called the division line. So this is what makes up a fraction. And then, all right, can you see something here? All right. So here we have, did you see what just happened? Okay, I'm going to replay again. So we have 6 balls. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls there. And then check what happened. Can you see what happened to the 6 balls? So I grouped these 6 balls into how many groups? Into 2 groups. So we have divided them into 2 groups. So the 2 becomes those that were listening, what does it become? It becomes, this 2 becomes our denominator. It becomes the denominator. And then our numerator is 1, because we have one group that contains 3 marbles, but we have 2 groups. So this is half and this is half. So how we represent it, this is half because remember we had 6, and then here we have one part, and then here we have another part. So we have now 2 groups, and that 2 groups because becomes our denominator, and then we have 1 here of the group, so we have half. We're not asking about how many, so don't confuse and say, ma'am, why is it not 3? We are talking about groups. So this is group number 1, and there is group number 2. And then because we have 2 groups, these 2 groups, they become our denominator. So this denominator tells us into how many parts is the whole divided into. And then this is the first group, and then that one is the second group. And then, okay, so the denominator, it tells us into how many equal parts the whole is split into, and that is 2. And then the numerator tells us how many of these equal parts do we have. So we have 1. So we're talking about this 1 part because we had 1 that side and 1 that side. So the numerator tells us into how many equal parts do we have, and then the denominator tells us into how many equal parts the whole is divided into. Okay, so that is explaining the numerator and the denominator. And then when it comes to fractions, we can either write them in number form or we can write them in words. So you have to know the fraction in words and also know it in number form. And then also you have to know the diagram. How do we represent it? So the first fraction that we have, remember, the first one is 1 whole. That is not a fraction. And then after 1 whole, we go to the next fraction that we call 1/2. And then this is how you're going to represent 1/2. So you're going to draw, whether it doesn't matter what you draw. It can be 2 squares, it can be a circle that you divide into half, it can be half of a pizza, it can be half of an orange, it doesn't matter as long as it is half, as long as it is cut into equal parts. So this one, we say it's 1/2 and we write it as 1/2. So we can write this like this, or we can write this fraction line. You see on the other slides, we can write it diagonally. So we can either write it horizontally or we can write it diagonally. So the first one is 1/2, and then here we have 1/3. As you can see, I only shaded one part. So this fraction is divided into 3 equal parts. So 3 becomes our denominator, and then only 1 is shaded. So then we say it is 1/3. And then the next one is 1/4. So we also write it as 1/4. And then, okay, I'll deal with that hand after I'm done explaining the slide. I saw there was a hand raised. So 1/4 is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. And we're only talking about this one that we shaded, you see? So then we say this is 1/4. So it doesn't matter. It can be in a circle. It can be a shape that is, as long as it is divided equally, then we say it's a fraction. You see what I mean when I say equally? And then the next one is 1/5. And then we write it as 1/5. So obviously we have 5 equal parts. And then the next one is 1/6. We write it as 1/6. So this is the number form. And this is the fraction name. And this is how we represent it. And then we have 1/7, and you guys in grade 4, you do up until 1/8. It doesn't mean that it is limited to 1/8. If you see 1/10, also it's fine. But CAP says you do up until 1/8. So most of you that are doing CAPs, this will be your first time. Okay, so most of you Okay, you guys can move away from the charts, ne? Or otherwise we'll have to close down the charts. Okay, Makanaka, you're saying you are breaking. Just check if you are next to the Wi-Fi. It has to be your network, ne? Okay, Ramu, thank you for understanding. You're saying you understand everything. Okay, so as I'm explaining, when I see the chart saying 30 something, I'm thinking maybe someone doesn't hear me, and then I go and check the charts only to see that it has nothing to do with maybe what you're doing. So let's reserve the charts for answering, please, grade fours. I know you guys are good and you can listen. So just prove me right, because I know you are good. All right. So these are fraction names. I hope these ones, I've seen Ramu say it made me understand. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. How do we write fractions? So this is how we write fractions. You see this one is 3/8. So we say 3/8, and then we can write it like this horizontally, or we can write it vertically. Just to reinforce how we write the bottom number, which is this 8, is the denominator, and it is below the fraction bar or the fraction line. So we call it the denominator, and it tells us into how many equal parts is the whole made of, or is the set made of. And then the numerator, which is the top one, never confuse these two, please. The numerator, which is the top one. So we can see here, I said you can either get rectangles, or you can get a circle, or you can get a cake, or you can get a pizza. I mean, we can use any representation. So here we got a circle, and then it is divided into 8. So because this circle is divided into 8, then this is our denominator. And how many parts are we talking about? So grade fours, we get the number of how many parts by looking at how many is shaded. So we can see here we have how many shaded? 1, 2, 3 shaded. So this means that this fraction is 3/8. So do not say it's 3/5 because you count the ones that are not shaded, because that is what most learners do. So we count the total number, which is 8, and then that becomes our denominator. Then we count how many is shaded, and then it's 1, 2, 3 shaded. So this means that this fraction is 3/8. So I hope that I've brought across. Okay, and then does this show a quarter? Okay, here I want to see, you are allowed to go to your charts. Does this show a quarter? Can we say this is a quarter? So we see this is a square that is divided into 4. Okay, I'll just say it's divided into 4. Is this a quarter? Can you say yes, it's a quarter, or no, it's not a quarter? Okay, so I see Zoe says no, Lina, no, Laurentia, yes, Henry, yes, no, no, ma'am, Henry, okay, no, it does not. Brandon says yes. I'm confused now. Pamela says no. Uh, okay, no, ma'am. All right. Joseph says no. Okay, all right. Okay, okay. I'm moving away from the chats, right? I'm moving away from the chat. Okay, so there were conflicting answers. Some says yes, it's a quarter, and the others are saying no, it's a quarter. Now, before I give you, okay, I see Rarak hands is raised. I'm going to give Rarak a chance to say something. Why are you saying it is a quarter or it is not a quarter? I want to hear. Okay, maybe admin, if you can unmute Rarak for us. Okay, who is unmuted? Uh, okay, yes, who's unmuted? Okay, I hear that there's someone in the background, but I don't know who is unmuted. Okay, I wanted someone to tell us why is this a quarter or why is it not a quarter? Okay, there's someone there, yes? Okay, who is talking? Just check. All right. Okay, I think okay, there's still someone there. Just check your mics, guys. Someone is unmuted. I just want to know who is unmuted. All right. Okay. I'll just give you the answer now because then, okay, let me check if maybe I can get some answers on the chat. Okay, someone is saying no, it has flop blocks in it. All right. Cut equal. So something becomes it only becomes a fraction if it is shared or if it is cut equally. If it is shaded, if it's cut equally. Okay, I see some hands there. All right. And then the next one, does this show a quarter? Can you say this is a yes?
It can't be it, because if it was going to be an equal, it was supposed to be colored in 4 blocks.
Oh, okay. Are you answering for this one now?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
who is talking? Oh, okay, I missed it there. All right, so not only is it not colored in four blocks, remember, even if it was colored in four blocks, it was still not going to be a quarter. We said it only becomes a fraction if it is divided equally. So check the difference between this one and this one. Can you spot the difference? Can you spot the difference? So does this show a quarter? Does this show a quarter? Now this one is not the same as that first one. Okay, let me check what you guys are saying on the chat. Yes. Okay, yes, it is a quarter. All right. So I hope you understand. So this is a quarter because all the parts are cut equally or they are shared equally. So because this is the same size as this one and this one is the same size as this one, then it is a fraction. We call it a quarter. So the answer, let's check the answer there. So yes, because one whole is divided into 4 equal parts, and one of those parts is shaded. So a fraction, it's all about the whole being divided into equal parts. Grade force, if it is not divided into equal parts, it is not a fraction. That is the point that I want to bring. So even if you are given a shape and then it is cut, as long as the parts are not equal, it is not a fraction. We cannot call it either 1/2 or 1/3 or 1/4 or 1/5 or 1/6. We cannot do that. So we only call it a fraction if all the parts are shared or they are divided equally. That is when we call it a fraction. So I wanted to bring across that point. And then okay, still here, let's look at this circle. Can you see the circle here? I know most of you cannot draw a circle and divide it equally, but then these ones, obviously here, this shape, we use some instruments, and if you can see, this part is equal to this one, and this one is equal to that one. So we can say that this is a fraction. But then how, what fraction is it? How are we going to know what fraction is it? So then we check. I remember I said for us to get the denominator, we must check into how many parts is the whole divided into. So the full is a circle, right? So we say this is a whole, or we call it a full, and then it is divided into 3 equal parts. So if this is a pizza, and then we are sharing this pizza, it's me and Zoe and who else is here? And Ramu. So it's the 3 of us, and then we take the pizza and then we cut it like this. So Zoe is not going to feel like I cheated her because this piece, her piece is going to be the same as my piece. And then Ramu is also going not to feel like we cheated her because her piece is equal to all of our pieces. So this is divided into how many? 1, 2, 3 equal parts. And then this becomes our denominator. Remember, the denominator tells us into how many parts has the whole be divided into. And then the numerator, now it tells us, let's check how many parts is shaded. So one part is shaded, and this becomes our numerator. You see how we write it, grade 4. So the numerator is how many shaded parts do we have, and then the denominator is how many pieces, into how many pieces is the whole divided into. So that is this is the denominator. So you can see on this fraction, so on this fraction we call it 1/3, or we can say 1/3, but the correct way to call it is 1/3. Remember 1/2, and then from 1/2 we have 1/3. So this one is called a third. And then, okay, now I think it's the time for you to tell me, okay, on the chart, which one is 1/3? Can you spot a third? On these fractions here, can you spot a third? Can you spot a third? Do we have any thirds here? Okay, let me see what your answers are. Okay, they're saying yes, they can. All right, so now I just need one person. I will ask who is unmuted, and then you tell us. When I ask you, is this a third? And then, okay, the one with the hexagon. Okay, Henry, you are right. Okay, Henry's, okay. So Henry says a third is this one with the hexagon. So this one in blue, is it a third? Let's check. Does it satisfy the criteria for a third? So we said if it's a third, it has to be divided into 3. So you see 1, 2, 3. And then 1, we see only one part shaded. Is there any other third that we can see? Is this the only third? Is this the only third that we can see? Okay, let me see here. Okay, the one with the hexagon, you are right. Okay, is there any other third that we can see? Tebelo, John Paul. Is there any other third? Okay, let's check the answers, and then I'll explain for you. Okay, here. Okay, so this one, most of you say this is a third, right? Which is correct. What about this one? Okay, this one, how many pieces do we have shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then how many pieces is it cut into 6, and how many shaded is 3/6. So this one is not a third, right? You didn't choose that one, which is good. What about this one? Let's check. How many pieces do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then is this a third? Yes, it's a third. How is it a third? So we are going to do equivalent fractions in term 3. If this 2 becomes 1, right? And then if I take these 2, because they're equal, they also become 1. And these 2, they also become 1. So if I take this 2, and then I make it 1, and I take this other one, I make it 1, and I take this one, I make it 1. It means I'm going to have these to be divided into, check, here it's 1, and then from here up until there, these 2, they also make a third. Can you see that? And then if we check from here, and those 2, they also make a third. So this is also equivalent, or is equal to a third. So if we check, if I move from here up until there, this shaded part is 1/3 of the circle. And then I move from here up until there, this unshaded part is also 1/3, and then this other one is also 1/3. So it's not always that you're going to get a third where you can actually count 1, 2, 3, and then this also, the 2/6, I'll show you when we go to the fraction line, is also equal to a third. And then what about this one? Okay, this one is divided in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 3/6 shaded. So this is not a third, but then when we go to the fraction line, you see that this one is equal to a half. And then the last one, which is this one is also a third, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we check this one and this one, the explanation is the same. I'm also going to show you when we go to the fraction wall. So these are the other ways of representing a third. Okay, and then here, okay, now you have to give me the answers. Okay, grade 4s, when I say number A, the answer for A, if you didn't get a chance to answer, do not answer when maybe on number B or number C, because then others are going to get confused. Okay, so on this activity, we are going to name the parts of a wall, and then as we are naming the parts of a wall, we actually writing the fraction. So the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to find the denominator. Remember what I said the denominator is, and then we find the numerator, and then after finding the numerator, remember the numerator has to always be on top, and then the denominator is at the bottom. So number A, what fraction is that? What fraction is that? You can use the slash instead of using the horizontal fraction line. What fraction is number A? So I'm just going to go to the charts and check. So I'll read the first 10 most probably, and then move to number B, because you guys are 42. I won't be able to read the whole 42 answers. Okay, Tibelo, Siseko, okay, Laurentia, Kahisano, you got it right. Makanaka, there's so many fours. What happened there? Neo, you got it right. No wonder you got it right. Kanya, you got it right. Joseph, Riatile, all right. Celeste, okay, you guys are good. Okay, so I will say it out. So you guys said the answer is 2/4, or we call it 2/4. So you got it right. Okay, we can stop. You can stop answering because I've said the answer for number A. So you said the answer is 2/4 or 2/4, which is correct. Let's look at number B. What fraction is number B? What fraction is number B? Okay, starting from Safia. Okay, you got it right. Number B. Makanaka, check your answer. Kanya, you got it right. Okay, you are typing too fast. Zoe, you got it right. Madumbo, Kahesano, Puseleto. And then, okay, I don't know who iPad's name is. Joseph, Riadile, Tibello. Okay, you guys got it right. So you say that the answer is 1/3, and that is correct. Okay, most of you got it right. That's good. So most probably you said 1/3 because you check this wall is divided into 1, 2, 3, and then we only have one that is shaded. Let's look at number C. What fraction is number C? What fraction is number C? I can see you are very close now to check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what fraction is number C? I'll check now. Okay, starting from Kanya, you got it right. Makanaka, Puseleto. Okay, if I call your name, it means you got it right. Joy, Zoe, Madumbo, Siseko, Kahisano. Okay, you got it right. Ramu, you got it right. No wonder, well done. Safia, well done. I feel bad when I say someone is iPad because I know that's a that's a gadget. Mpampa, you got it right. So you guys said the answer is 5/8. Well done. You grade 4s are good. So what you basically did to get your denominator, I'm sure you counted how many is the total. So you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you got 8, which is the denominator. And then you counted how many parts is shaded so that you can get the numerator. So then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded. So then it means that the fraction is 5/8. And what about number D? What fraction? Oh, it's very easy, ne? Okay, let me check what you guys are saying. Oh, Laurentia, Riatlile, you typing so fast. Okay, don't feel bad if I don't call your name. Kanya, Keira, Makanaka, Tibelo, Asia, John Paul, no, Tibelo, Uzziah, Joy, Henry. Okay, most of you got, okay, almost all of you. Let me just say all of you got it right. So you guys said number D, the answer is 1/2. You are right because this is divided into 2 equal parts and only one of the 2 is shaded. Now let's look at the last one, number E. Number E, what fraction do we have there? What fraction is shaded? All right, let's see. Oh, I saw someone said 6/2. I think they will correct that one. Remember, how did you write your name? Shem iPad. I don't know how they actually write their name. I think the way that they save themselves on Zoom. Oh, Shem. Maybe you can underneath iPad. Okay, iPad, if you can just write your name under, then I will know you name. Oh, Dante. Okay, all right, I see. Okay, so you guys said the answer is 2/6. The answer is 2/6, which is correct. So how did you get it? You counted the total number of equal parts. So you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gives us the denominator. And then thereafter you counted how many is shaded and is 2/6. You guys are so good. You can clap hands for yourselves. So this part is done. I can be assured that it's done. Yes. And then as you can see, these fractions, they are divided into equal parts. Can you see that? So can you see now the difference between that one that was not divided into equal parts? So equal means it's the same size. So this one is divided into equal parts. And then here, I just wrote the answers for those maybe that didn't get it right. But what I have realized, you guys, you got it right. And that's awesome. Okay. And then now looking at the parts of a set, remember I said with fractions we can represent it, we can represent fractions in many ways. So I have a set here, just put everything there. So the same way, no. All right, good. So the same way that we did the shapes, that's the same way that we have to check on a set. So you count how many do we have, and then you also count, for example, number A says, what fraction of the circles is blue? I'm not going to count with you. I want you guys to count for yourselves. What fraction of the circles is blue? This one, not a little bit tricky because you guys are good. So what is the answer there? Okay, I'll go and check the answers. Fraction, okay, column, all right. Okay, what fraction? All right, I'll address the misconceptions now. Okay, what fraction? What fraction? Okay, Kanya, you got it right. Siseko, Joseph, you got it right. Joe, you got it right. Kahisano, you got it right. No wonder you got it. Okay, Jean Paul, you got it right. All right, so this is the mistake that I see. Okay, let me address those that got it right first. If you said the answer is 4/7, like you said, well done. The question is what fraction? So fraction means it doesn't, the question is not how many circles are blue, it's what fraction. So if your answer is a fraction, remember we said a fraction must have a numerator and a denominator. And then you got 4/7 because you counted how many circles we have, and then you counted how many blue circles we had to get the numerator. And then number B, so that's 4/7. What fraction of the circles or the circle is red? What fraction of the circles or the circle is red? It wasn't supposed to come. Okay. All right. And you guys said, okay, now you're getting it. So the fraction of the circle, okay, all those are typing, that are typing, you are getting it right. And you're doing it so far. So I see Brandon, Nowanda, Asia, Henry, Joy, Madumba, I forgot your name. Okay, but you told me. And then Michaela, Uzaya, Reatile, Safia, Tibel, I know it's Dante, and then Puseleto, John Paul. Okay, you guys got it right. You said the answer is 1/7. So you see how we do a fraction of a set. So it's no longer a diagram, but now it's a fraction of a set. And then what fraction of the circles is yellow? Question is, what fraction of the circles is yellow? The fraction, not how many yellow circles do we have. Okay, so I see you are getting it right. Wow. No wonder. John, okay, John Paul, Joy, you guys are getting right. Callum, Fazel, Laurentia, Puseleto, Ramu, okay, you are getting it right. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so you guys said the fraction of the yellow circles is 2/7. So that you see, that is the difference between the fraction, if the question says what fraction, or if it says how many. So there's a difference. How many we want the whole number, and then what fraction we want your answer as a fraction. And then we're still on the activity. Okay, so look at this shape. I have a shape there. No. Okay, so let me just leave that one. So how many equal parts does it have? Already, okay, we can count together because that answer decided to come. Okay, I see people are typing. All right, let me just check. So you said it has 8 equal parts, which is good. You are right. Okay, so it has 8 equal parts. So if it has equal parts, then we call it a fraction. Question number B. Okay, we can stop typing. Let's go to question number B. So question number B says one part is called Haman. Okay. One part is called one part is called, so we call one part of that equal fraction, we call it one, let me check your answers, an eighth. Yes, not one whole, Henry, we call it 1/8. So we'll call it a whole. All this shape is a whole. So one part is called an eighth. Yes, Joseph. Okay. And John Paul, you are right. Yes, no wonder. And Fazil, okay. And then let's go to the next question. So one part is called an eighth. Okay. And then number C then says, write one part using a fraction symbol. Write one part using a fraction symbol. Write one part using a fraction symbol. Yeah, this answer didn't come, thank God. Write one part using a fraction symbol. Okay, starting from Laurentia, Kanya, Zoe, Joseph, Henry, no, John Paul. Okay, Makanaka, check your answer for me. Fazel, Dante, Riatlile, Puseleto, Madumbo, I know you said that's not your name. Kahisano Ramu. Okay, so you guys said the answer is 1/8. So remember, this one part is called an eighth. And then when we write it as a fraction, using a fraction symbol, we then say it is 1/8. And you wrote it perfectly. All right. And then number D says, what fraction, if 7/8 is shaded, if 7/8 is shaded, what fraction is not shaded? If 7/8 is shaded, what fraction is not shaded? If 7/8 is shaded, what fraction is not shaded? Okay, starting from, okay, one. Remember, the question is what fraction, not how many is not shaded, grade 4s. What fraction is not shaded? So you said, okay, Ramu, Mpapa, Henry, Joy, John Paul. Okay, John Paul, you said one block, but the question is what fraction is not shaded? Okay, Riatile, you got it right. Okay, Kalem, okay, you got it right. Makanaka, you got it right. Safia, Puseleto, okay, Fayad, Joseph, Laurentia, all right, well done. So if you said the answer is 1/8, you are right. So if 7/8 is shaded, what fraction is not shaded? So 1/8 is not shaded. 1/8 is not shaded. So that is the introduction for fractions. So tomorrow when you come, I expect you guys already, because you've been giving the answers, I expect you to know what a fraction is made up of. And we say the fraction is made up of 2 parts. Namely, we have a numerator and a denominator. And we say that the numerator is the top part, and that is the part that is always shaded, or the one that they're asking you about. And then the denominator tells us into how many parts the fraction has been divided into. So you have to count in total how many pieces do we have. That is the denominator. And then we said a fraction is a part of a whole number. I'll come to the questions now. Let me finish. A fraction is a part of a whole number, and the denominator tells us into how many pieces of the fraction is divided. So it's a part of a whole number. It's not a whole number. It becomes a whole number if it's 2/2 or 3/3, or if everything on the fraction is shaded, then we have a whole. but you're going to talk about that. And then a fraction can be represented in a diagram form and also in a number form. So this is the introduction of fractions. So when we go for tomorrow and we look at, tomorrow we are going to look at the fraction wall, and we're going to look at ordering and comparing fractions. You should have that knowledge. You should have that knowledge of knowing what is a fraction. So that is the prior knowledge that you must have. And then, okay, let me see. There were people that had raised their hands. We are left with 3 minutes. We left with 3 minutes. So there was someone whose hands was raised. I don't know whether it was a question. Okay, we can unmute one before the time is up and here. Okay, practice questions, yes. I thought I actually typed it. But then just tell me on the chat, who of you are using Platinum? Who of you are using Platinum? Because I'm using Platinum. So if you're using Platinum, you go to page 67. It's page 67, yes. And then you see there's an activity. And then those that are using Viva, because the most books that I know that you guys use, either you're using Platinum or Viva or Oxford. If you're using Viva, also there's a topic of fractions under term 2. There's an activity there. Okay, someone is unmuted. You had a question? Okay, just check your mic. Someone is unmuted. You can talk. Okay, all right. Okay, I think we lost that person that was unmuted. Okay, guys. Okay, I'll do that, Lindiwe. I will load them onto Africa. Okay, I'll type them and load them for you. You don't have the test book with you. All right. Okay, so I'll type the questions. Okay, it's fine. I'll type these and then I'll load them. I'll type them now and then I'll load them for you, and then you can practice them at home. I think that is the best way to do it, because some of you do not have Platinum or even Viva. I'll do that. And then I'll upload them so that you guys can actually practice. Okay, all right. I guess that's it. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be early. Most of you were on time today. So be early tomorrow so that we can also get to chat. And yeah, see you tomorrow and be safe. Bye, Nwanda. Bye, Ramu. Okay. Bye, Kara. Okay, Kara, you didn't say much today. Okay, bye, Fazel. Bye, Jean Paul. Okay, I see all the byes. Bye, Laurentia. Okay, bye, Pamela. Okay, Pamela, did we have you before? Okay. Bye, Joseph. All right. Okay, thank you. Bye. All right, bye, guys. Yes.